Welcome back, everyone. Good news. We pissed off the Psycho Brigade so much that the Skull Riders biker game has allied with them, and now they're both trying to destroy us. Only good things from here on out, so we're going to take both of their Queen Lords from this area. As usual, first thing we do, immediately look around now. You might notice that I picked up shields. Shields are not an item I deploy, they're an item that's just automatically running. So you'll see that when I get shot, there's going to be a barrier around my tank. And in fact, it'll deflect shots back in the general direction that they came from. And you're going to notice several fortified I hate the AI on these things. Okay, so we took down one of the regular bunkers, but there's going to be several fortified bunkers throughout this area. That's going to become a running trend for a lot of these rescue Queen Lord type missions, is that there will be more fortified bunkers to deal with. I'm also being way more liberal about my use of my special weapons, in particular the swarmers, because we're going to encounter a number of areas like this where there's just half a dozen turrets or a bunch of tanks that spawn, and we need to get through them as quickly as possible. Guided missiles, always, always, always good to have, because as you can see from the map, we're going to eventually work our way to the west and take out that fortress that's near the bottom of the map. Then we'll work our way back up and clear out the other one, and then take both of the Queen Lords. Oh, and you also notice that we picked up mines. Mines function exactly how you think they would, although there's not a particularly good use for them unless you want to go back and lay them in certain side streets leading toward your fortress to help defend it a little better. And I believe that... oh yeah, it's right there. I'm actually not going to use my guided missiles. Check this out. With the shield, you can bounce the Goliath tank shells back at it and destroy it that way. I was kind of fortunate that I still had enough shield active to be able to do that, because it doesn't function on time, it functions on, I believe, the amount of damage? Amount of damage or amount of shots, I can't remember which. But, general point is, that was really fortunate that that happened. This is purely for flavor. You don't have to destroy any of these buildings. In fact, you probably shouldn't unless you really need ammo pickups or health pickups, because they can do the thing from before where there will be turrets inside of them. And yet another fortified bunker. Fantastic. Anyway, now we're going to slowly move north along this edge of the map, and two turrets in a single building. Wonderful. Anyway, that's why I destroyed that building, was the extra tank. Because you know what? If I've got this many, I may as well just try and get as many as I possibly can. Now, I'm actually a little nervous about trying to go through these levels kind of fast, because I've already had one instance where the game chugged so hard that it locked up, and I had to redo one of these missions over again. That's another spawner that we took out. I should have taken that one out sooner because of its proximity to my base. But, whatever. My Goliath tank is still standing, so I'm not terribly worried. Oh. That's one I definitely should have taken out earlier. If you're on the higher difficulties, you definitely want to worry about taking out the bunkers first instead of just charging straight for the fortresses. And I don't believe that I'll be able to do the whole shield deflecting Goliath shells back at it trick, although it's worth a shot. I don't think it's going to happen because these turrets are still shooting at me. Ah, Jesus. Okay, I need a slightly better angle on this. What I'm trying to do is back up so that I can angle the guided missile along the rail that the Goliath runs on. That way, I won't have to worry so much about doing last-minute adjustments to the aiming. One, and a two, and a three. Alright, so now we have taken out all the defenses for the two fortresses. So what I'm going to do is, well, first I'm going to knock this one down. And I'm also going to just do a little check for any bunkers or power-ups or anything that I might have missed. As such, a lot of this is getting sped up. However, I am going to show you a little something unusual that happened on the way through the middle of town. Okay, it seems like I got the final points for that bonus tank from nothing, but that tank, or what used to be a tank over there, that was destroyed by my Goliath tank back at my fortress. And I got the points for it. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward to an Easter egg in this game. There's a movie theater here showing Might and Magic, which is a series of role-playing games that was acquired 2 years before BattleTanx released. Not only that, on the side of this thing it says, "Coming soon, Army Men for N64. If I remember correctly, Army Men would come to the N64 as Sarge's heroes a year after this game? Somewhere in that time frame. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, blowing up more buildings and picking up more items. Now I am doing this not just for points, not just to destroy other turrets, not even just for the fun of blowing stuff up, although that is part of it. I'm also picking up a stockpile of items to help me in case I run into trouble when I'm trying to get back to my fortress with both of the Queen Lords. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and grab the first one now. And you can see the enemies starting to pour out of the fortified bunkers on the map. Some of them, well, I think most of them actually, are going back to my base. So the Goliath tank may very well get destroyed in all of this.
Under attack.
Yep, the fortress is under attack. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the building holding my Queen Lord is leveled by the time I get back there. Up. Yeah, there are also a bunch of ramparts blocking you off from taking the easiest path back. Well, my Goliath tank is still intact. You know what? Just for the fun of it, let's lay a bunch of mines. And... Oh god, I got completely turned around and now I don't know where my fortress is. Okay, there it is. Well, that was almost really embarrassing. Though, let's see how much time bonus I get. Okay, we're gonna be here a while. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Talk amongst yourselves. Is this thing still... Okay, it's almost over. And now, once we're out of here, we're going to start heading further west across the United States, and in the process, we're going to have another little bonus game to play. This is structured pretty much the same as it was before, with one little change. The tanks still come at... We still have just the regular A1 Abrams tanks. However, one major difference is, instead of just coming straight at us, there's an alleyway in between the buildings that they can use to come at us from different sides, if they want to. Other than that, pretty much the same. Although, when we get to, I think, Wave 4 it is, we'll start seeing those smaller, faster units that fire machine guns at us. Besides that, though, pretty much the same. You know what? I talk about the game a lot in these. I talk about myself a lot. How is your day going? Good, bad, indifferent? My day's going alright. I mean, I'm playing BattleTanx, so it's not going too bad, actually. Could be worse. I could be speedrunning Ninja Breadman. Now, something the tanks will do a little more often on this is not just try to get alongside you, but get behind you and force you to rotate your turret all the way back. In fact, I believe that that is what ended up killing me on the final wave. See? I'm not particularly good at this bonus game. I'm usually just good enough to be able to get one bonus tank out of it. I think there have been a few times where I've gotten to wave 5, but I usually don't go any further than that. Yeah, this is not going very well. You can see the machine gun units just behind that tank. Well, that was fun. Anyway, it's time for Griffin's army to start moving westward. And I will make a note about this cutscene. If it looks like some of the text is skipping through fast, I'm not pressing any buttons. That's the game doing that. It happens sometimes. Oops. They kind of forgot to mention Charlie Company as part of that alliance. Oh well, they're probably going to get blown to scrap anyway, as we start making our way through their front lines on Armageddon Highway. This can be an annoying stage to do if you don't know what to look for, but first, let's just enjoy the soothing sounds of the word power up. So you start off with a few allies, and you are almost constantly and immediately under siege by Charlie Company and friends. And the first thing you actually want to do here is, as soon as you can, find some guided missiles. Because there are some bunkers hidden kind of off to the side that will be very important to destroy. And we're going to get those bunkers through this gap in the highway. Okay, that's one. I believe that takes out the faster machine gun units. And now this one, that takes out the tanks. And there's one last one way at the end of the highway that we definitely want to destroy. It's right here. This bunker spawns Goliath tanks, ones that are off the rails and will chase you down. Even considering how slow they are, you do not want to get into a one-on-one confrontation with them in open space. Now though, since we've taken care of the bunkers, and that is the most critical thing to do in this stage, we're going to go ahead and just wipe out as many of these turrets as we can. And then eventually we're going to encounter the Goliath tanks that aren't tied to that bunker we destroyed. There are 2 of them up ahead on rails, one right after the other, and they're right in front of the exit. For now though, we're going to continue slowly working our way through and taking out turrets one at a time. This is another one of those stages where it's really tempting to rush through it, but that's how you get killed. A lot. I'm going to be a little careful about how I approach this, because turrets are placed kind of dickishly. Like, there'll be some just behind walls as you come out behind them, and there are some that are kinda off to the side and a little difficult to reach. Sometimes they'll just be blocking the Goliath tank. Fortunately, that's not the case here. Okay, that's one down. We can advance forward a little more. Yep, right behind the wall. Okay, there's another Goliath tank a little further up the road, but there's also tanks. Or a tank, actually. It's kind of amazing that I still have an ally alive. Because... never mind. I did say they weren't exactly the smartest things in the world. Or this game. By the way, remember how I said there were 2 Goliath tanks? I lied, there's 3. I'm running kinda low on guided missiles. I have the feeling if I miss even one of these, I won't be able to destroy them in this one go. Well, maybe... if this one hits... yes. Alright, so the only thing that really poses a threat to us anymore are the turrets that we haven't reached or destroyed yet. And you can't underestimate how much damage the turrets can do, although we got a shield, so that helps a lot. Most of them are stationed alongside this roadway that you have to go down, although there are still others on the other side of the highway median. And is that a gas station I haven't blown up yet? Okay, we fixed that. So, aside from the turrets, there isn't really much else left to do in this level. However, what I can do is item whore. And that's how I'm going to get to some of the items that I couldn't reach near the beginning of the stage. Kind of like that one area in the Midwest where we had to go all the way forward, then backtrack back near the beginning of the level. Most of the power-ups here aren't exceptionally useful. It's mostly just health, grenades, bonus points, swarmers if you still need those. The shields are handy to pick up. And there's one important item that I'm going all the way to the end of this median for, which is the extra tank. And with that said, I believe we've taken care of everything we can do in this level. So we might as well get one more power-up. Being very careful not to hit the mine. That is an absolute dickish move. Putting the landmine right next to that health power-up. Anyway, we are done with Armageddon Highway. And I believe we completed this in... yeah, we did fairly well time-wise. At least the power time wasn't 20 minutes this time. Jeez. Anyway, next time on BattleTanx, Griffin and his army are going to pay a visit to the strongholds in Area 51. Yep, that Area 51.